channel is all about cooking and decorating cakes. But today we are promoting autism. So that's what we are doing today. And I have a very special guest with me right here. So can you introduce yourself? What's your name, please?
Hi everyone. My name is Prince Israel. I'm an autistic speaker and I'm an advocate. And I'm originally from London, but I reside in Kent.
Great, yeah. So before we begin, I just want to apologize because we are very, very late. Yes, we are late. So we are very sorry for being late. So now moving on, Prince. What is autism at all? And also, I'm so sorry. I have a son with autism. He's just right here with me. So if you hear noises, in the background, that's him, kind of making noise. Yes. So it's all part of it. So yes, I will go to Prince. Yes. So when we talk about autism, what is autism?
Autism is like it's something that no one can't really control with. It's like there are different types of it. Like you've got the high functioning, which I'm on. Some on like on mild, some of them are like different types. Severe is like extremely high.
Yeah.
So autism is not just one place because there are all different types of it.
Okay. Right. Yeah. Okay. So me too being a mother with I have a son, he's just here with autism. He is nonverbal, so some of them don't have speech. Some of them do have speech. Yes. So what are the challenges about autism at all?
The challenges with autism is that, like you mentioned before, some of them can be non-verbal.
Yes.
And then there's other types where people can have speech delays or anything else. And what we don't realize is that these are more sensitive areas that one doesn't take into account. And it's easy for one to struggle a lot. Like some can be hyperactive,
Yeah.
or some can be very difficult to control.
Yes.
And when I mean it's like when you tell them to sit still, they refuse to sit still. Some may be into rocking chairs, or some will feel like they got this kind of energy that can damage anything without you noticing.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think for me, if we're gonna talk about the challenges, then are we ready to like do something about it rather than complain? Because it's easier to complain or moan a lot, because I get quite a lot of people, especially the Black and Asian communities, they don't want to stand up and do what's right for their kids or maybe their young adults.
Yeah, so sorry for the interaction. Yeah, my son is around all over the place. Yes, carry on, Prince.
I think for me is that we've got to, like, instead of saying you've heard of autism,
Instead of you saying what?
you've heard of autism,
Yeah.
do more of reading or do more of researching.
Yeah.
Because there's quite a lot of infos about it. Like before, there was only little resources on that. Back then, you had to go to the library to get books about it.
About it, yeah.
Because there was not really much on PCs, because PCs didn't really have internet connection. Google wasn't really around until when years passed. That's when everything started to develop.
Right. Okay.
But now, thanks to God, we definitely can use Google to do more researches than ever, than rather you just stressing out or walking down to your local library. You
Right.
can easily just do your research from the comfort of your home.
Okay, yeah, that's so true. Okay, so say if somebody wants to support autism,
hmm
how can they support it?
They can support people with autism if they are willing to just make their life easy, because some of them might be struggling in maths,
Mm-hmm.
some could be struggling in different subjects. Because I can remember when when I was in secondary school, there was a boy that was non-verbal,
Right.
and he himself, he needed the extra support that he needed.
Right. Yeah.
For example, he was like, he could write a little bit.
Okay, without verbal or without
Yeah,
speech.
yeah, he was non-verbal just like his son.
Yeah.
Then I think there was a time, you had to make sure that he was doing it right. And even if you didn't know what he was doing, the support staff will make sure he gets the job done
Okay.
or help him do what he needs to do.
Okay. Right. So, in terms of in terms of growing up, how was it like?
Oh, how was it really
Yeah,
like?
since you've mentioned about school, how was it like? How was your mates? Um, we don't have to go too deep because we are mainly supporting autism today, and it was Prince's birthday last week.
Last week
That's
Tuesday.
why, sorry,
Last week Tuesday.
last week Tuesday, so it's exactly a week ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why we've got all these balloons here, and then thereafter we will, put some things together and then celebrate the birthday as well. But yes, so that is there. But growing up with autism, how was your community, school? Any little thing that you can tell us?
I will be transparent to your viewers, because
Yes,
it's
thank
good
you
to
for
be open. I'm not a closed door. I'm more like open to
Yes.
those who really want the truth.
Yes.
I think growing up back then, having autism was kind of difficult.
Okay.
Growing up in, I think, what year was this? The 90 eras.
Yeah.
So when I was free, I was diagnosed with autism. I was non-verbal like your boy.
Yes.
So that was a bit difficult because where we were living, it was a bit difficult for my mom and dad to deal with someone who had that challenges, because they were close of putting me into care home.
Oh.
They were very close,
Okay.
but they changed their mind
That's
and
great.
said they were gonna live with it
Oh,
regardless.
great.
And my mom had to quit work
Yeah.
for 9 years
Wow.
and
Amazing.
not even do anything, but rather just to make sure that I'm still living. And even when my mom had my sister, it was a bit of like a challenge.
Wow.
A bit of a challenging. But I mean, skip to that. I think church as well was another challenge on its own, because there was a time my mom and dad faced scrutiny in church because of me, and they took abuse because of me.
Oh,
They
no.
took it all in.
Yeah.
And when they did, I mean, it wasn't just only that, because I was the only autistic person in my church and there was no one else. And where they were, it wasn't really conducive for me. And which I strongly don't understand up to this day. Like, why you put me in an area if it's not conducive and make life very, very even difficult. I had no friends of my age that could really deal with it. And it was very, very, very hard. And honestly speaking, I was thinking, oh God, where, I was like, God, what's going on? So I just said to myself, but luckily, just to make it a bit more interesting, I got compensated with young adult mates who were like in their 20s or about to go into their early 30s. I don't know why it had to work out that way, but maybe God could trust them with me, because my mom was a bit protective over me because she couldn't trust him because there was a time I was with someone and I accidentally damaged my finger.
Oh.
I cut my finger. I don't know where. If I can show you this. Yeah, that was the scar
The scar.
I've still got to this day.
Oh.
That day, I think the glass table damaged my finger.
Oh.
It damaged it. And since then, I was like, nobody didn't really pay attention to what it was.
Yeah.
And it was really, really like a bit horrible because like it's not that they were just a bit in denial of the autistic challenges because I wasn't verbal until 6 years old. So that time it was a bit more of a challenging for my mom. But after me starting to communicate bit by bit, it took time, and then a lot of things were piling up. I faced abuse as a young kid, like being lied on by my schoolmates, which I was not expecting to. They got away with murder, but I played the victim because there was a time this silly boy, God forgive him, he just threw me over. He just threw me over and I landed on my tutor. And that was when they now made a false accusation saying that I kicked her, which was not true because I've never kicked her in the face. Yeah. And then it got to a point then my mom and dad took action, and they went to court with the people who really did horrible things to me. And the bullies was really going on and really and truly and secretly I was self-harming. Oh no. Privately. But I did not tell my mom and dad I was self-harming. I did not know I had sensory issues as well. That was like years, sometimes you will be like touchy, fiddling, you can't sit still, etc., etc. I had no idea I had a sensory to this day. To this day, someone that spoke clearly and said to me like, don't be ashamed of where you are in your life, because even if you talk to people who have autistic kids, are they willing to be accommodative? Are they willing to understand stronger things? But then to make it more easier, I've been some stages where I've faced a lot of scrutinies, I didn't know how to deal with certain things, sometimes people just laugh at me, they'll just look down on me saying, oh, what's the matter? And etc. And I've really taken quite a lot. I mean, the positive side was music was keeping me moving. Yeah. So that was just what made me where it is. Then advocating for the autistic people was a bonus. And I said to myself, look, if I turn 30, I promise that I will make sure that the families will get, the support that they need, because I feel that I can't just really go on without helping families that need it most. Oh, bless you. So I think the whole reason why I'm being transparent on this program is to tell every family, if you have autistic girl or boy, please don't be ashamed of him or her. Yeah. They're in their transition period. Because if you learn to be patient with the transition period like my mom and dad did, it will be even worth a while. Yeah. And it's not that you're demanding them to talk quickly, no. Yeah. It's going to come with timing, loving, and support. Yeah. And especially when you're around them, your job is not to beat them, your job is not to put them down, because like there was a time when I wanted my mom's attention, mom sent me to some guy in the church. Well, he's not alive now, he's gone. But there was a time he took me where the toilets and the storeroom was, and he beat me up. How? He beat me up as an autistic. He just beat me up, but nobody saw it. Yeah. Nobody really saw it as an abuse, because like when you look at it, they'll think it's a punishment, but in reality, it was really
It's
lower
abuse, yeah.
because that I really felt like you didn't really know how autistic people operated, and it was really much of a battle. Sometimes, you know, the whole thing you've seen can make you feel like, rah, what's going on? And church again, when I was 10, I faced prejudice. Yeah, I did. So it was really, really painful. I won't lie to you. Like I said before, I'm very straight. I faced prejudice, but I didn't know why was the whole prejudice was thrown in my face. Anytime I wanted to go to Sunday school, this Sunday school teacher would try and throw me away. And I really felt like, well, why on earth would he do that for? So eventually I've been...
So at that age, was you verbal?
No, at 10 years old.
Okay, so at that time you was 10.
Yeah, that was when the whole prejudice started.
Okay.
No, I was verbal from 6,
From
then
6.
later when I got to like being, like they say, 10 and trying to get used to life, you know, get some exposure, etc. That was when the whole prejudice started.
Yeah.
And then everything. It followed me, but I'm still here.
Yeah, thank God for that. Yeah. Thank you very much for being honest and sharing your story. So this is why we are creating awareness and also letting people know. So it's still creating the awareness. Yeah, I'm so sorry about the background noise. My son is, is just here. He's 12, but he's non-verbal. So we are creating awareness about autism. If you have one at home, how can you help them? How can you support them? And so on and so forth. So that's what we are here, basically. So, Prince, can I just ask you?
Yes, go ahead.
So you see when you're in the street, and say, how can somebody basically with a clean heart support someone with autism? With a clean, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Well, someone who is willing, to help. Yeah, who is willing, because like you said, some people can just, take you in the corner, and then
do
whatever, they want to do, but someone who is willing to help, that's why we are here. We are here to support, to create awareness, to let people know that you too, you have feelings, you know what's going on. It's just that, it's a difference now. So how can people...
I think, like you said, people with a clean heart, it takes discernment, because that time I wouldn't really know about discernment. So you've got, for example, there was this guy that used to live in London. He was like an uncle to me. He was very patient. But he lives in Canada. I haven't spoken to him in years until we now reconnected. Then there was another guy who was like an uncle to me. He used to look after me a lot,
Yeah.
And then he was a very nice guy. And there's another brother that used to look after me. Another sister that used to be so fond, of. I don't know where she is. But then my mom recently spoke to me about, you remember the sister that used to look after you when you were younger? I had lots of people in the church that my mom can strongly trust. That will not really do some things that will make life, difficult for me. In the sense of it, I had some good moments, especially my uncle. If my uncle knew I was so bored, he would lend me his Sony Walkman just to put it on. He was a very nice guy.
Oh, that's nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, so if you are watching us, thank you very much for joining. We are discussing about autism, how to support autism. That's what we are discussing now. So prior to this question that I asked, what I will add to it is, excuse me, being a mother of an autistic child or a son with autism, all that I can say is I've been talking to Prince for about a year now.
Yeah.
Yes. So I took time to study him, though we haven't met. This is the first time that we are meeting. But we've been talking, exchanging text messages, WhatsApp, and all that. So if you want to support somebody, or if you see someone from from the first time and you like to support them, I think what you need to do is you have to study them because everyone is different. Everybody is totally different. So you have to take time, study them, know what they want and what they don't want, because even before you came, everything we talk about food and everything, how we're gonna put it together. Anyway, so yes, it's good to study people. Now I think this is going to be the final one.
Okay.
Say in the community, I mean, we've talked about church, say public transport, and most people are watching us from Ghana. Some of them are watching us from here in the UK. Is everything okay though, viewers? Yes. So some people watching us from UK everywhere. So say in public transport, in the community, how do you want people? How can you advise people? To kind of approach you. This is like a stigma.
Okay.
Yes, this stigmatization.
This is really again interesting one you've asked. Before then, I'm letting the viewers know I'm writing a book titled "Can I Be Me?"
Okay.
And it's been inspired by my life journey, and some thoughts came to me. If cats can be cats,
the title's name is it?
Can I Be Me?
Can I Be Me? Okay, all right.
Yeah, which I'm still working on. So the book should be due by late next year, early 2023.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm writing a book is I want every Black community and Asian community to know that your child can be him or her without trying to change their identity, without trying to put a restriction on them. Because if you have a dog, you won't put a restriction on him.
No.
If you have a cat, you can't put a restriction on it. If you have a fish, it's difficult to put a restriction on a goldfish because they adjust themselves. If they can swim and just have their own naughty moments, etc., then why can't the special needs and autistics be them? Why can't they be them? So that was the whole thing about me. And this all came when I met a lady that works in educational supports. And she has a special needs daughter and she works hard for her and she really makes sure that nobody takes advantage of her. And she's very good. And I said, one of these days, whenever I run big seminars, I would love you to have met her. She works in a college in South East London called Lewisham College. And she's very understandable. She knows the needs of the people. Let's say if you like climbing, she finds a way. If they like pulling stuff, let's say they love to pull in her dress, she makes a hard material for it to be pulled. And since then, she's really thought big out of the box. She thought differently. And for me, I would say, if I need some things, sometimes I'll need a good listener.
Yes.
Because at times it's like there's times when I'm in need. Sometimes people just try and put their own perspectives on top, and I personally wouldn't want that.
Yeah. So
and I always say to them, look, don't think that just because I'm talking, etc., or doesn't mean it's over. You can't assume, because there'll be some weak points, that I've got. It's something that I'm very mindful with. I don't really necessarily talk about it to everyone out there, because if I did, then I could have been scrutinized like my mom and dad got years ago. But for me, I'm not ashamed to be open to you and say, okay, I might feel like I want to maybe just fidget stuff, or I might want to touch some stuff, or maybe whether humans or anything. Or maybe if I feel overwhelmed sometimes, you just want to pinch or something.
So what do you want to pinch into?
No, maybe
sensory.
Maybe sensory, if I want to pinch your hands, etc. Not too painful, not to hurt, but it's probably part of the skin.
Yeah.
But not part of the what's it called, sensory. Because when my auntie, She, when my auntie was sharing a lot of things, I was stunned. And she said, you know what? Don't even blame the sensory, but the problem is the community finds it as a taboo, which is more, is because they've not really looked deeper enough. That, for example, if one pinches, etc., don't think it's sexual assault. Because I went to a seminar, I think September, and this guy was talking about sex and autism.
Okay.
And what we don't understand is we don't really help them to know about certain things. Like the practice talked about the red light, the yellow light, and the green light. But I think for me, I'm very, very very open. It's not something that I'm just going to just hide anyhow.
Yeah.
But when it comes to support, that's when I need it, because especially relationship wise and whatever it is, I'm very mindful, because I wouldn't just pick anyone and then tomorrow it gets so messy. Sometimes it will make me feel overwhelmed. But having said that, all I just really need now is just support, consistency. Because if there's no consistency bonding, it can be very, very difficult for me to like.
And a very good listener.
Yeah.
So, someone who listens. Yeah.
But it's coming gradually now, because I've met a few people who are becoming more consistent on a regular basis. But if they were not, it will be a bit difficult for me to come into. Yeah, I think that's just it, really.
Yeah, okay. All right then, Israel, thank you very, very much for coming. And precious family, today we are discussing about how to support an autistic child. It can be an adult, it can be a child, or anybody with a special need. That's what we are discussing today. So if you are watching us, this channel is about cooking and baking, decorating cakes. But this Christmas, we decided to support autism. So that's why we are here. I have one myself. My son is 12. He's autistic and he's nonverbal. So we are kind of going through it gradually. So please, yeah, I'm sorry about this. My son, actually, let him come and say hello.
Yeah, bring him in.
Let him, come and say hello, buddy. Come. Yeah, so if you are watching us, if you have any questions, please ask, and we are happy to answer. And I'm going to give a big, buddy, come. Come and say hello. Yeah. Come and say hello to the camera.
He's very excited.
He said yes, he's very
happy. When he's like this, then you just got to let him be what he is. Like I was saying, that when he has his moments, just let him be him, because if we don't let him be him, then it's going to be very difficult, if he wants to come through, but if he doesn't want to, then that's fine. But.
Yeah. Anyway, everybody has seen him anyway on the page already. So yes, thank you very much for tuning in, for joining. If you have any questions, please kindly ask, and we will answer them for you. And so we will be ending very soon, and congratulations, and not congratulations, a very Merry Christmas to every mother, because mothers really go through a lot. Sometimes it's hard to take, it's hard to understand, it's not easy, and sometimes how you wish your child can understand, simple ABC, but it doesn't work that way. So yes, a big of applaud to mothers with autistics, and yes. So we're gonna end now, and please let us know if you want to hear more about autism, if you want to learn more about autism. I have one at home, so at least I do have experience, and I can share some tips with you if you're struggling how to potty train your child, how to understand certain things, if you let us know, we will come your way next time with some of your questions. But as I keep saying, this channel is mainly on cooking and baking and decorating cakes. But today we are supporting autism. So thank you very much for joining and tuning in. We will meet again. God bless you all and have a blessed evening and a very Merry Christmas to you all. God bless you. And thank you, Prince, for coming and opening up and sharing.
Of course.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Well done. That's great. Thank you, friend.
Wow.
Well done.